Hey, so let me tell you a story, a little channel history if you will. I first started this channel by uploading Undertale no-hits. I did this for 25 videos and then randomly got the idea to make a video essay. So what did I do it on? I decided to rank every Pokemon creepypasta, or Pokepasta, on the Pokepasta wiki page. I did this for 2 parts before realizing the videos sucked ass and deleting them. Then I made one more video essay. One you might have heard of, The Dark Age of Mascot Horror. For 2 weeks it did about as well as you could expect for a channel with 30 subscribers. Then the algorithm decided to recommend it to every person on the planet at the same time. And as I write this, it sits at 110,000 views. That is insane, and I don't know if I would still even be doing YouTube if it weren't for that. I'm incredibly thankful that I've been given the opportunity to share my opinions with more than just 5 people. But at the same time, something has always bothered me, which is that this video right here, The Dark Age of Mascot Horror, I despise this video. Pretty much immediately after posting it, I disowned it, and it has been a stain on my channel ever since. So that's why I'm making this video, for peace of mind, to counter what I said and finally set the record straight. Hopefully after this, I can actually sleep well at night. But that's not all. I also want to use this video to talk about some new Mascot Horror games that I enjoy, but couldn't make a full video on. I'm going to be leaving a timestamp on screen right now if you just want to skip to that part, because I understand some people just came for the thumbnail and don't care about me airing out my grievances with a 2-year-old video, so there you go. Skip to there if you just want to hear about Indigo Park and Keno Pet and stuff. Alright, that's probably enough time. Let's talk about this shit.
I've made a severe and continuous lapse in my judgment, and I don't expect to be forgiven.
Okay, so first off, before we get into anything I actually said, the video just kind of sucks, like in general. It was basically my first time actually writing a video essay, and thus it was very poorly explained, it wasn't funny, the only good jokes were ones my brother added in post, and worst of all, the audio quality was absolute dog shit. I don't know how people could watch that video and not immediately click off when they heard how bad it sounds. I also wasn't very confident in my voice yet, so I just kind of sound like I'm whispering through the whole thing, like I'm giving a book report to my class and I really don't want to do it. The video is actually fairly well edited, but that's because I forced my brother to do it and he's a way better editor than me. But that's besides the point. All of what I just listed is to be expected. It was my first real video. My issue comes mainly with what I say in the video, so let's get into it. The first game I talk about is Poppy Playtime. My main point was that Enchanted Mob, the creators of Poppy Playtime, are kind of a terrible company, and while yes, I stand by that thought, I don't know if it's entirely fair to call Poppy Playtime a part of the Dark Age of Mascot Horror just because of that. Yes, a few select people at mob games suck. Maybe even a lot of them, I don't know. But counterpoint, look how many people worked on this game. The credits for Chapter 3 not sped up are over 5 minutes. There's probably like 150 different people who worked on this game. With that in mind, does it really matter that a few at the top suck? Yes, there are some people who worked on Poppy Playtime, particularly higher ups, who are not great people. But your money is most likely not going to them. It's going to the several talented people who made a game and do this as a job. Also, complaining about merch? I hate to say it, but it's kind of inevitable. Even games later in this video that I enjoy do it. Indigo Park has a Rambly plushie, there's a Meadow plushie, it's kind of just what you do. Now to be fair, none of those games have a merch link in-game, which I think is the worst part, but still, is it really that different just because they make their merch more accessible? Like, they're just spreading it to a wider audience. I don't think that's a crime. With all that in mind, who cares if you enjoy Poppy Playtime? I don't, at least not anymore. Like, yeah, I didn't have a super great time with the series. The most I got out of it was like 40 hours in Project Playtime, but I can definitely see the appeal, and there's no way it deserves to be considered one of the worst Mascot Horror games. So already, that's our first game done. And to be fair to myself, the video becomes slightly more agreeable from here on out. Rainbow Friends is next, and to be honest, I think I was right about a lot here. The game isn't fun, though it's also not nearly as bad as I said it was. I've definitely played worse than it before. It has a lot of issues, I still hate you green, and I do think it got too popular for what it was. I only really have a couple of issues with this part of the video. One, I kept talking about how because it's Roblox, I had my expectations set to the floor, which I don't know why I was saying that, because I'd played a few horror games that were fantastic, and even mentioned Doors at the end of the video. I was being very demeaning to Roblox, which to be fair, it's Roblox, I don't have massive respect for it, but I've definitely seen people create some incredible things. My other main issue is that, honestly, I think I lied. I don't think Rainbow Friends was popular enough to be considered for this discussion. Yes, I did see some videos about it, but not nearly as many as the other two games. Rainbow Friends was never a mainstream name, but for the sake of the video, I pretended it was. Also, this isn't really related to the video, but I'm sure some people are curious since Rainbow Friends Chapter 2 came out after my video, so my thoughts are kind of the same. I prefer the map of Chapter 2, and the final roller coaster part was cool, but besides that, it still wasn't very fun. So yeah, Poppy Playtime shouldn't have been in the video because it's not that bad, and Rainbow Friends shouldn't have been in the video because it wasn't that popular. Now Garten of Ban Ban. Yes, pretty much everything I said about Ban Ban was true. The drone sucks, it looks bad, the designs suck, everything about it sucks, it's a bad game. Ban Ban is an easy target, we all know this, but that's just my problem. We all know this. I wasn't saying anything groundbreaking in this video. I basically just summarized all of Ban Ban and added a "what were they thinking" at every point. I like to think my videos are fairly original now. Yes, I sometimes get ideas from other places, but they're usually heavily opinionated topics where it's fine to borrow the idea. Here, everything I said was basically a fact. It feels less personal than the rest of my videos, like I'm giving a presentation rather than making a video. That kinda goes for the whole video. A lot of it was just me summarizing things, and I find it sort of boring. But if there was a Dark Age of Mascot horror, would Ban Ban belong in it? Yes, of course, especially when it was only the first game, but that's not enough to make a full 20-minute video on. Ban Ban is a bad game, and I could have just said that and moved on, but instead I had to tie it to a larger issue in the horror genre, which I think just makes the video blatantly incorrect. Why, of all my videos, did this one have to succeed? The one where I sound like an idiot and make terrible points throughout. Why couldn't it have been, I don't know, my Introvert a Teenage Simulator video? That's probably the best video I've ever made, and it got like 1/300th of the views. I guess that's just how YouTube is. Sometimes you get lucky, and sometimes you disappear for a year and then make a video on a topic no one cares about. What did I think was gonna happen? Regardless, I'm glad I was finally able to wipe my hands clean of this video, and explain why it's my worst one. Now, if you made it here, either you're a good, respectable viewer who watches all my videos, or you just skip to the timestamp I provided, which, you know what, fair enough. Now that I'm done being a negative Nancy, we can get positive. Here are some games that I legitimately enjoy. Indigo Park is, in my opinion, the best example of a basic mascot horror game. Is it generic? In a lot of ways, yes. Is it still really good, and am I still really looking forward to future chapters? Absolutely. For starters, I like the setting. Yes, an abandoned amusement park isn't the most unique setting, Rainbow Friends Chapter 2 did that, but the way this game handles it is super fun and creative. Because we're in an amusement park, it gives a lot of leeway for creative rides, which can easily make their way to really good horror. I also love the characters this game has. There's Molly Macaw, the bird who crashes her plane a lot, Finley, who reminds me a lot of Eeyore from Winnie the Pooh, and Lloyd the Lion, who is voiced by Rex for some reason. How did you get here? After so long of just shape with face, it's nice to get characters who are actually characters. That's not even mentioning the best character, Rambly the Raccoon, who I am in love with. He's your ally on this adventure, and it's just amazing. He has so many lines that I just think about randomly, and his voice is also great. Now, as for the game itself, in my opinion, it's pretty basic and unnoteworthy. Not bad, I just don't have a lot to say about it. Until we get to the final chase with Molly Macaw. I love this chase so much. It just feels incredible. There are so many branching paths throughout it, but it all just flows so naturally that you never question where you're supposed to go. You just go. I only died once in this chase, and it was at the very beginning. Besides that, I did it all in one go, which is not to say the chase was easy. If you mess up even a little, you will die, but not messing up isn't some incredibly hard task. I think it strikes the perfect balance of, well, everything. It's not too easy, but it's not too hard. It's not too linear, but it's not too open. It's honestly what I would consider the gold standard for horror game chases. Even the song that plays, Barnstorming, it's a banger, and I love how certain parts of it sync up with the chase. It all just feels so natural. That's the main reason I wanted to bring this game up, because I truly think this chase is immaculate. Compare this to one like in Ban Ban 2, where it also had branching paths, but there was nothing distinguishing them, so it was a 50-50 essentially. I've watched quite a few Indigo Park playthroughs, and everyone always just knows where to go, because the game made it feel correct with subtle cues. Meanwhile, in Ban Ban 2, like half of the playthroughs just die randomly because oops, you went the wrong way, sorry buddy, try again. Which is stupid. If you're making a horror game, please take cues from Indigo Park. It's one of the best recent examples of mascot horror I can think of. As for one that's like, probably not mascot horror, but I still just want to talk about it.
I'm over here stroking my dick. I got lotion in my dick right now.
I don't have too much to say about Keno Pet, I just wanted to bring it up to say how amazing it is. The game is about you getting a little desktop buddy, a la Bonsai Buddy, and spooky things start to happen. It starts weird with that, and slowly get scarier and scarier with, yeah, that. The biggest appeal of this game, however, isn't the horror, it's how it uses your computer. This game did things that I didn't know games could do. Oddly enough, the one that was the craziest for me wasn't some super scary jump scare or whatever, it was when the game turned up the volume of my computer. Not just made the game louder, no, it manually turned up my computer. How in the hell did it do that? I've never seen a game do something like that before. It scared the hell out of me. That's not all the game does though, it also does things like open your camera to get a view of yourself, or look up what is my location to try and dox you. It's wild. Yes, it does make the game a nightmare for streamers, but that's funny, so I don't mind it. Overall, I think the biggest strengths of this game are of course the weird computer shenanigans and Keno himself. Not only does he use the best TTS voice,
oh, hello there,
but he's both oddly cute when he wants to be and awfully menacing when he wants to be. The game ends with you having to choose whether to stay with him or not, and despite all the hell he put me through, I just felt too bad and said I'd stay with him. That was apparently the right option, because if you say no...
Do you realize how little power you have in this situation?
Yeah, that's really all I have to say about Keno Pet. It's a very interesting horror experience with a great main antagonist. I'm a pretty big fan. Now, on to our last game of the day, at least the last one I'll talk about in depth. That's right, my discussion on Mascot horror started on FNAF, so I think it's only fair that it ends on FNAF 2. At time of release, this is the newest FNAF game, and while I'm not going to go super in depth on the story considering I haven't actually beaten it yet, I have played a bit of it, and it's been great so far. It's based off the first Fazbear Fright story of the same name, Into the Pit. First off, I think the game looks great. Sure, a lot of the humans look a little goofy, but it's a charming goofy. This game especially shines in its jump scares. Visually, they're incredibly striking, and I think if I were to remake my best and worst jump scares video now, it would have been a contender for best overall jump scares in the series. It's that good. But visuals isn't all this game has, it's also, you know, actually fun. The game is all about evading Springtrap, as well as the 3 other animatronics, Freddy, Bonnie, and Chica. Yeah, no Foxy, better luck next time, man. Anyway, the game is all about sound. You have a little noise meter in the bottom right, and if it fills up to red, then Springtrap will bolt to your location. This is actually pretty exploitable, but in a fun way. This is because of the phone, which will automatically fill your bar up to red if you call twice. This means that you can hide, call twice, and Springtrap will come running to that location. Does this make the game easily manipulatable? Yes. Does this make it easy to beat? I still have died like 10 separate times and I haven't even finished the game yet. Yeah, this game is tough. Even when you can manipulate Springtrap's movements, he's still an unpredictable little guy. Also, you can trip, and this is the worst mechanic of all time. I swear to God, I always trip at the worst moments when I'm running away and it always gets me killed. But besides that, I really like the game. I wrote an emoticon in my script. Why did I, what? Overall, the game's just fun. That's not even mentioning all the bonus content. It brings back the star system from early FNAF games and has a bunch of endings and secrets. It's sick. It even brings back the extras menu, and it has a ton of stuff, which is always awesome to see. It also adds 2 extra difficulties and a bunch of customizable things once you beat the game for the first time. You can tell a ton of care went into this game, and I promise I'll beat it. Someday. And that's really it. Of course, that's not it for Mascot Horror, far from it. There's a ton of things I didn't even mention. There's Baldi's Basics Plus, which is still getting updates. There's Poppy Playtime Chapter 3, which was actually good, at least I heard. Although looking at the designs for Chapter 4, I really don't have high hopes for it. Like, these are literal DeviantArt OCs, it's awful. But no, stay positive. This is supposed to be optimistic about the future of Mascot Horror. There's a new Bendy game being worked on, as well as a movie. There's Shipwreck 64, which once again I haven't played and also released a while ago, but I still heard it was good and wanted to bring it up. Overall, despite what past me might tell you, Mascot Horror isn't going anywhere, and it's honestly in a pretty good place right now. Hopefully this video was entertaining. I was kind of using this as an excuse to talk about things that wouldn't be long enough for their own video, but I still wanted to bring them up. So yeah, in conclusion, I'm an idiot and game devs are cool. Until next time, I hope you have a good day, and I'll maybe see you soon. Oh, I also need a totally unique and quirky last second joke to lead to my outro. Oh, I got it!
Spooky, scary skeletons and shivers down your spine.